Hello, it's been a minute, but I thought I'd carry on with reading from the chapter on aurochs and bovids from the missing Lynx. A pretty good case can be made that aurochs were the most deadly animal to live in Britain, above even lions, hyenas and saber-tooths. We know what aurochs were like because they were described by literate, knowledgeable people and were woven into the culture of medieval and earlier European peoples. We know precisely how ferocious a wild aurochs was because we have written sources that tell us. There are few more literate historical figures than Julius Caesar. He encountered aurochs on one of his bellicose jaunts into Germania. The man who bent the known world to his rule and tamed the wild Vercingetorix was terrified of what was, in essence, a wild cow. He wrote in his commentaries on the Gallic War, "Aurochs are a little below the elephant in size, and of the appearance, colour, and shape of a bull. Their strength and speed are extraordinary. They spare neither man nor wild beast which they have espied." They were strong, and they were quick. One 17th century account, recounted in Cis vanEurs, retracing the aurochs, says, "They are so dazzlingly fast that after they have defecated, they can manage to playfully catch their manure with their horns before it reaches the ground." Quite a party trick. These were also enormous animals. We know from skeletons that a full-grown male could easily look a 6-foot person in the eye. Their horns were absolutely gigantic. Double curved, like mammoth tusks, with spear-sharp tips pointing straight ahead. Deadly. Images drawn from life are abundant in the caves of Chauvet and Lascaux, and down through time to the much cruder woodcuts left in medieval bestiaries. We know from many sources that the bulls were black-coloured and the cows reddy brown. People lived side by side with aurochs, and nowhere is this better expressed than in a stunning piece of European Iron Age art, beaten out of solid silver. I'm talking about the Gundestrup cauldron, a priceless treasure from the bogs of Jutland, and found in 1891. The Gundestrup cauldron is nothing less than a liturgy of pre-Christian beliefs, written in a symbolic language that we can barely understand. There are deer-horned men holding snakes and torques, crude elephants and lions, griffins, wheels, soldiers and cavalry. Some men are depicted playing the carnix, the legendary war trumpet of the Iron Age. A giant dips a man head first into a cauldron, holding him by his feet. A kneeling man wearing a horned helmet grips a chariot wheel. It means something, all right, but who knows what. It's definitely not from Denmark, but was probably commissioned from expert silversmiths in Central Europe and brought back to be used and repaired over several centuries. One of the repairs, to cover a hole in the bottom, is clearly from the hand of a different master metalworker. This circular plate was likely recycled from a horse's bridle and shows a downed aurochs. Legs splayed and twisted as it lies dying, the animal is lifelike and detailed. The head rises in relief out of the flat silver, breaking into the third dimensions as it labours for a last breath. Around the dying animal, 3 dogs lie exhausted alongside their sword-wielding mistress. Yes, mistress. Despite the obvious breasts and long braided hair, some who have studied the cauldron describe the aurochs hunter as a man. It's not. The images are pecked into the silver using a variety of tools, cross-hatched and stippled. The bullocks' bollocks are prominent. Horns and ears, now missing, may have been made of ivory or glass. The overall impression given by the work is of total exhaustion after a struggle to the death. It tallies well with what Caesar wrote centuries later. Elsewhere on the cauldron is an external plate where 3 giant aurochs are about to have their throats pierced by sword-carrying figures, while cats and dogs run together round about. Aurochs were clearly an important part of the culture that commissioned the Gundestrup cauldron. They remained an important part of many European cultures right up to their extermination.